Greetings to you all. The lesson that we discuss today is The Making of a Scientist, written by Robert W. Peterson. This is one of the lessons in class 10 first flight test book. So, The Making of a Scientist. Before we discuss the lesson, let me tell you something about the author Robert W. Peterson. He was a famous American newspaper writer who later became the freelance author of magazine articles. He wrote with authority, particularly on the topics of sports and scouting. He was born in 1925 in Pennsylvania in the USA and died of lung cancer on 11 February 2006. So the theme of the lesson, The Making of a Scientist, it's all about the story of a scientist named Richard H. Ebright. It's an interesting study of how Ebright became a scientist. After the early death of her husband, Ebright was everything for his mother. He used to get top grades in schools. At a very early age, when he was just in this second standard, he had already collected 25 species of butterflies found around in his hometown. The book The Travels of Monarch 10 gave him a thorough knowledge about the monarch butterflies. In the second year of his high school, Ebright began to search an unknown hormone in the gold spots of butterflies. In later years, he discovered how a cell could read the blueprint of its DNA. That is the theme of the lesson. Now, let me tell you the story or the lesson in detail. So, at the age of 22, Ebright excited the scientific world with a new theory on how cells work. Richard Ebright and his college roommate explained the theory in the proceedings of the National Academy of Science. It was the first time that this important scientific journal had ever published the work of college students. For Richard Ebright, his first achievement in science started with butterflies. Ebright started collecting butterflies when he was just in the kindergarten. He was also fond of collecting rocks, fossils, and coins, etc. He became an eager astronomer too. He sometimes gazed at stars all night. And it was his mother who encouraged his interest in learning. She was the sole responsible person for the development of his scientific temper. She took him on trips, bought him telescopes, microscopes, cameras, and other equipments, which evoked initially his curiosity. She helped him in many ways. Richard was just in the third grade when his father died. Richard was her mother's whole life. They spent almost every evening at the dining table. Richard wanted to learn. He earned top grades in the schools. By the time he was in the second grade, Ebright had collected all 25 species of the butterflies found around his hometown. Then his mother bought him a children's book called The Travels of Monarch 10. Really, the book told how monarch butterflies migrated to Central America. Really, it opened the world of science to the eager collector that was our Richard Ebright. The book invited readers to help study butterfly migrations. Readers were asked to tag butterflies for research by Dr. Frederick A. Urquhart of the University of Toronto, Canada. Ebright started raising a flock of butterflies. He would catch a female monarch, take her eggs, and raise them in the basement through their life cycle. Then there is a description about his experience in a county science fair. In the 7th grade, he entered the county science fair and unfortunately he lost it. It was a sad feeling for him. He was very much disappointed, but it aroused the competitive spirit in Ebright. For his 8th grade project, Ebright tried to find the cause of a viral disease that killed all monarch caterpillars every few years. This time he won. The next year, his science fair project was to test the theory that viceroy butterflies copy monarchs because monarchs don't taste good to birds. Ebright proved that viceroy butterflies do taste good to birds. This project was placed first in the zoology division and third overall in the county science fair. In his second year in high school, Ebright showed that the gold spots on a monarch pupa produced a hormone necessary for the butterfly's full development. This project won him first prize in the county fair and an entry into the International Science and Engineering Fair. Ebright got the idea for his new theory about cell life. He found out that the cell can read the blueprint of its DNA. DNA is a substance in the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity. Thus, DNA is the blueprint of life. And then at the end of the lesson, it's all about the other interests of Richard Ebright and how competitive he was in his life. Richard Ebright had time for other interests. In addition to his scientific temper, he had other hobbies too. He became a champion debater and a public speaker. He became a good canoeist. He also became an expert philosopher, particularly of nature and scientific exhibits. He praised his social studies teacher, Mr. Weiherer. He had opened Ebright's mind to the new ideas. Richard Ebright was very competitive, but not in a bad sense. He was not interested in winning for winning's sake or winning to get a prize. He wanted to be the best. The making of a good scientist was present in Ebright. He had a first-rate mind. First-rate mind means he had the curiosity. He had the will to win for the right reasons. That is why it was called as first-rate mind. The book Travels of Monarchton opened the world of science to him. He had never lost his scientific curiosity since then. That's all about the lesson. Hope you have